Okay, what we're going to talk about is Gaza, Lord Gaza. There were two girls. I guess one was named Cheyenne West, who wrote a book when they were 6 years old about Selma. There have been movies made about Selma. Police beat black people over the heads for securing the mandatory obligation of Selma, Alabama's Jim Clark, who was the sheriff of the county building, to register them to vote. He was in civil disobedience, violent civil disobedience. He refused to do it, mounted beatings. Lord Selma was the name of the book. When we look at Gaza, it's abomination beyond all abomination. I grew up in a Jewish community. My father, who was also the father of my half brother, dearly loved half brother, who was bar mitzvahed and is Jewish. Adam lives in Woodstock. I've never had to. He was a Leyte golf veteran, a Peace Corps leader who wrote books rather than Wesley Crary about human rights and Latin American education and the history of American education. He was a Peace Corps leader and he worked at Teachers College with Eisenhower after the war. I've never had to prove anything about my love for the Jewish community in the past before, ever, nothing at all. But the Dias cast, I despise what Israel is doing to Gaza. I despise them. My father drove a school bus in retirement. He drove a school bus in retirement. When I heard Saudi Arabians blew up a Yemen school bus, I always saw my father being killed. When I hear the Israelis are bombing schools, they're bombing my father. My tapes are about things I know and attempts to evaluate things I know and about things I do not know and attempt to appeal to people to do some anthropology work and answer some questions that I very strongly have on my mind. So, what I'd like to talk about, first of all, is that although the electric media of Roger Waters, the Three Faces of Eve, it's been spinning the Green Party rounds through Russia and TikTok and so on. You do not need Russia to have a French resistance movement. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden compare to nobody so much as Vichy government's Pierre Laval and General Petain, who was adulterated. And yes, Laval went to the hangsman at Nuremberg. Rihanna Falaci said, weeping as I fired when she was forced to kill a German to protect her family. Britain had to shoot the French Navy when they surrendered. The French resistance, people think, oh, de Gaulle. No, not just de Gaulle. There was Louis Faucher. He was a French general in Czechoslovakia who refused. He said no. Just as Kamala Harris had the opportunity to say no to Biden and didn't. He said, no, I will not abandon Czechoslovakia. He took off his French general's uniform and doffed the Czech common soldier's outfit rather than do that. Louis Faucher was a close personal friend of Martha Gellhorn, who wrote me in old age. Eleanor Roosevelt's best friend. We've lost the thread, sir, madam. Truly, your forgiveness I implore. We have lost the thread of American dignity and the heritage of the human race. We have lost the thread. This is not coming together, Biden. This is sowing our fool's fate. So let's talk about how I was betrayed in Pittsburgh by people who were told. Let's talk about Moxieland for a minute. Told that this was coming, that they mustn't ignore my evidence and hard work of research on Mount Desert Island of the Society for Human Ecology behind the AIDS attack. Mustn't. They did anyway. Rusterroot, okay, Moxieland is Lawrence Buke's story, South African writer, about a gang of hooligans who get advice about how to resist the way Hamas played Palestinians. It turns out that the corporations manipulating the resistance of the people who the resistance thinks they're resisting. What does Rusty Root do when they hear this? They say, oh, Lenin. Lenin pulled a Houdini. He is Moxieland's intelligence system. They were in the CIA, full of Ian Fleming. They even did soundtracks for James Bond films. Are you fools? MK Ultra was straight out of the White Album. Fools. I don't know how much more I can say. Where do you have to look at the dignity of the human race? In Casablanca, are you kids going to side with the Germans who were burning Jews in crematoriums? Is that what you are? Because Yoko Ono says it's divine? Out of your minds. So you can be rock stars, so you can have your goddamn Moxie land. I'm not a person who can shirk off all of my responsibilities to history. I am obligated to tell the truth about what has happened. And I consider it pitiful that the elementary journalistic necessity to go undercover to find proof is ignored in the explanations that the Darwins give for what I unearthed. For God's sakes, a person like me, you would think people would take my word for it. And I was stubborn enough to make sure you didn't have to. Can't you get that through your head? You don't have to take my word for it. I produced evidence and proof of my allegations out of respect for you. Then you do this.